guys, what's up? It's Kelly. If you're new here, I make lifestyle content and fashion videos and also vlogs. So a lot of you guys have been asking me how I edit my vlogs, how I color grade, and how I do my transitions. So today I thought I'd literally bring you guys into my computer and edit a vlog with you guys. So yeah, it's a really long video, but yeah, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so I have Premiere open and I'm just gonna make a new project. So I'm just gonna title this vlog 21 because that's just what it is. I can change it later. Location is where the project file is gonna go. So I'm gonna just browse, and I have a Lacy external drive, and that's usually where I edit out of. So I'm just gonna click Kelly's Lacy. This is my main Lacy hard drive, and then I did partition it as a second drive, and that's just called Doge because like, why not? So I'm just gonna have it in Kelly's Lacy right here. Click choose, and then I'm gonna go to scratch disk and make sure all my other files are going in the same place. So here, captured video is in Kelly's Lacy, and then everything else is just that same as that. So I'm gonna click OK, and guys, like, you know, I edit probably differently from some other people. I'm like not completely, like, I'm not a professional editor, so the way I do things is just like whatever works for me, and some tips and tricks that I've kind of accumulated along the years. Okay, so here is my timeline, no sequences, and I'm just gonna come in here and make a new sequence. The way I like to work is I like to import my footage and make different sequences and work from that. So I'm just gonna make my main sequence, and this is just the timeline that my main project is gonna go into. Okay, something's messed up with my frame rates. My frame size. I never really bothered to go in and fix it because there's something else you can do. Okay, so I have here my main, and I'm just gonna make another one. This is where I'm going to drop in my footage. So, I have two cameras. This one's gonna be my Canon, which is usually all like my montage, kind of fancier footage. And since this is a vlog, there's going to be talking bits, so my second sequence, or my third, is going to just be Sony. Cool, so as you can see, like, this is not the 1920 by 1080 frame size that we want, but first I'm just going to drop in my footage. Okay, so I'm going to go in my hard drive, and I already have the footage sorted. So in the folder vlog 21, November 10th footage, montage. Okay. And yeah, I'm not going to be editing the full vlog because that'll be like a 6-hour video, but I'm just going to choose just a few clips and just work from there and show you guys just how I edit, how I color grade. So, okay, this probably wasn't a good idea. You should probably drag them in one by one because this does freeze the laptop. That was not a good idea. Okay, so this is why I didn't worry about changing the numbers earlier. Because when you drop in your footage that is 1920 by 1080 and isn't this little box, it'll always ask you, do you want to keep it like the way it is, or do you want to change it? So we're going to change it, and then automatically is going to conform to the footage that you have. That's why, like, it's not a big issue. Oop, let me turn that off. Okay, then I'm going to continue dragging in my footage. So lesson learned number 1, don't drag all of it at once, unless you're importing. Okay, so that's my Canon footage, and now I'm going to go over back to my hard drive, vlog 21, and I have that sorted into the vlog file. Here's all my footage that I'm going to be using. Where do we begin? Okay, I just realized I didn't find music. Oops, I should have done that before this. But, oh, I need to change the main timeline thing too. So I'm just going to choose a random clip just so this thing comes up and change. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of this. So if you have been watching my vlogs for a really long time, you know that I have a certain style, and that's a certain color grade, a certain kind of way like the letterbox comes in. And gosh, this is like so petty, but like I don't like telling people what LUT I use because I mean, like, it took me so long to find it, and I don't know, something about it is like people try to have the same LUT and then your vlogs look the same, but I mean, like, it's okay, like, it's shared, like, you know, I didn't come up with it, I got it from the internet, other people use it. But I think the first thing I want to do is do an adjustment layer. With an adjustment layer, it's like when you color grade. Color grade is just a fancy word for changing the color or color correcting your footage. Putting an adjustment layer just means that you can apply the same LUT or the same edit to all of your footage instead of correcting them one by one. So I'm just going to pop this adjustment layer over everything. I don't know how long this is going to be, but I'm just going to drag it out. And then, let's see, I do letterbox like parts of my vlogs, mostly like the montage-y parts. So I'm just gonna import this letterbox that I downloaded. And that always goes on top of the adjustment layer just because you don't want the LUT to affect the letterbox, because then it makes it a weird color. Okay, we probably have to put in footage. So I haven't really gone through all of this, but I'm just gonna say let's just do a bit from Starbucks. So we filmed a bit at Starbucks just cause. So let's just do an establishing shot, and I don't want any audio in here, so I'm just gonna select everything. And the keyboard shortcut, so the audio and the footage is linked, so the keyboard shortcut to unlink that is Command L. That detaches the audio, so you can highlight the audio and just delete that. Okay, so let's see, I have the Starbucks here thing. That did not make sense. I have the Starbucks clip here. I'm just gonna copy it. There's probably a better way to do it, but I'm just gonna copy it and paste it. Where did it go? Okay, here it is. And this is just a very rough cut. Okay, so as you can see, this is not, the clip's bigger than that. So, wait, am I right? No. Okay, no, this is the clip. Sorry, usually when I put in my Sony camera, it is different, but we'll get to that. Okay, we'll get to scale to frame size later. Okay, so most people save the color grading for the very end. For some reason, I just like to see my footage graded as I edit. So I'm gonna click on my adjustment layer and put in my LUT. So I'm gonna go to the color, Lumetri color, which is the best thing ever. Go to creative, look, and I'm gonna browse because you have to import the LUT because it's an external one. So I'm gonna go all my files. Okay, my English isn't making sense. Sorry, guys. And the name of the LUT. Okay, are you ready? You've been asking for this so long. Is Osiris M31, and it's a traditional teal and orange kind of look that's very popular amongst filmmakers. So I'm just going to import the Osiris M31 Rec Cube. So for you guys who aren't familiar with what a color grade is, my pet peeve is when people just call it, oh, what's that filter you applied, or like, what's that like color correction? No, okay, a LUT is different. Basically, you can get really in depth with it, but it's a mathematical equation that kind of, you apply it and it analyzes all the pixels or all the colors in the frame or in the shot, and it just says, okay, so for every this color, like for every, I don't know, orange, I'm going to assign it to this different color. So it's not a filter, because a filter kind of just goes in and slaps a color over everything, but a LUT kind of goes in and assigns each color pixel another color. So yeah, it's more advanced than that, but that's just like the most basic explanation. So as you can see, okay, this is without the LUT and this is with the LUT, and I love this LUT so much. It's just that perfect teal and orange color that you see. Okay, sometimes the footage is too dark and I really hardly ever touch basic correction, but what I do is I go into curves. These are your RGB curves, red, green, and blue, and I bring up the exposure by curves. As you can see, you can just adjust it, or you can do, it's like photo editing. If you guys edit in Lightroom, you can do a very basic S curve, but usually, I'm gonna undo that, I just bring up the exposure or the midtones or whatever you fancy word you want to call it. This footage doesn't need that much, but I'll just boost it like that. Okay, so you have this, let's see, this really shaky footage. Okay, so I film with the 50mm prime lens, which doesn't have image stabilization. So the first thing I like to do just to minimize stabilization is I'll slow it down. So I always film 30 frames per second. which means that that's slow motion. So what you do is you put in the footage and then you slow it down. The keyboard shortcut is Command R, just to save you some time. And we'll just do 50% because the original is 60 frames, and then if you slow it down, it's 30. And then that just puts it in slow-mo, which helps minimize shaking to a certain degree. But as you can see, it doesn't completely. So Command K just to cut the clip because we don't want that beginning part. What I do is Premiere has this really powerful thing called the warp stabilizer. So effects and just warp stabilizer. But as you can see, because we did slow it down, we changed the time. If you try to drag the warp stabilizer onto the clip, it'll give you this. You can't use speed and warp stabilizer at the same time. But no worries, there's an easy fix for that. You can fix it by nesting. The command shortcut I just have for it is Control N, because that's what I assigned it to. You can change your keyboard shortcuts within Premiere. But essentially, I nest it, and then you can apply the warp stabilizer. And it just takes a few seconds for it to analyze it, depending on like how long your clip is. Oh gosh, this is gonna be a long video. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna like kind of go over like all my tips and tricks, and then not exactly do an edit with me, because that would take a very long time. Or maybe you guys want to see like a 3-hour video. Probably not. Come on, hurry up. Oh, and this is your effects control panel. This is where you go to, do masking and do keyframes and everything. But as you can see, all your effects come in here. And this is where you can see just the time remaining for how long it takes. Hurry, 44, hurry up. I made this clip too long, that's why. Why is this taking so long? Oh, we're just gonna move on. Okay, cool. These are very raw edits, so we'll come back to them, work on transitions and everything. But right now we just kind of want to work with piecing the clips together. Okay, here are the Starbucks clips. Okay, cool. Okay, let's just take this then. This clip right here. Again, I don't know, my computer is, the fan is like doing stuff. Okay, cool. And this is under the adjustment layer, so there's a lot too. And let's see. Yeah, we can slow that down if we want. Sure, why not? I'm doing this transition thing that requires that you do the transition in the camera. That's why at the end I do that. So I'm gonna start here. Command K, cut that clip. And let's nest it so we can stabilize it later. I'm not gonna do that right now. Oh, look, this stabilized. Let's visit it. Let's see how. Yeah, and as you can see, it really works wonders. But yeah, we'll stabilize this later. Let's cut that a little bit more. Okay, we're gonna work on that later. Okay, cool. So, okay, we forgot about the letterbox. So usually with these montages, I will put in a letterbox, which essentially looks like that. But the way I like it is I kind of want it to kind of animate. So the letterbox to come in slowly. So we animate things within Premiere using keyframes. Keyframes are, sorry, grammar. Kind of like just the way you animate things. Okay, cool. Okay, so scale is what we're going to be using. So if you do like 130, this goes away. And if you do like 102, this comes back. So essentially what you want to do is click this toggles the animation. So it gives you the first keyframe. And we're gonna just make the letterbox 130. And I want the letterbox to kind of come in slowly around here. So we're going to make it 102, and because we click toggle animation, the keyframe automatically creates. So if you go back and play it, the letterbox is slowly going to come in. And that is how I do it. Okay, so I'm thinking, okay, we have here, and then we have here. Somewhere in between this, I remember, I did have a shot of Chinhui filming me from behind, going into Starbucks. So these are on different cameras. So I'm just going to sift through. Yes, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Right here. Okay. Let's also, well, we don't want, do we want the audio? Nah. Let's take it. Whoa, that just took over. That just ate my other clip. Okay. Yeah, you Premiere, unlike Final Cut Pro, if you overlap clips, it just, the longer one eats the shorter one. So it's, you know, hierarchy of power. Yeah, I'm just going to turn volume off. Okay, so first things first, the thing with doing a LUT on an adjustment layer is, you know, different clips turn out differently. So that's when you have to go in and grade the individual clip. So before you do anything, it just bothers me. So, shut up. So I'm just going to go into curves and increase the exposure. And that's kind of all I'll do. Sometimes I'll go in, change up the temperature. Yeah, we can make it warmer. But then I kind of leave it alone. So we have our establishing shot, which is Starbucks. And then we have that filming. So we're gonna see where we want it to begin, and I'm thinking right when we walk in. So Command K that ish, delete, and let's see. And it's gonna be choppy because it hasn't rendered yet, so that just has to, like, you have to bear with it. Okay, I wonder why. Okay, there we go. Okay, so back to where it was. So with the Sony, when you put it in a sequence that was determined by the Canon footage, it's a different frame size. So what you do is you double click and you do scale to frame size. I have a keyboard shortcut for this. I made it, Control F. You have to make it yourself. But this is the actual frame size that we filmed it in. And you betcha I wanted to look like this because I paid hefty money for a wide angle lens, and I'm gonna get wide angled. Okay, so the biggest problem with the Osiris LUT is it tends to saturate a lot of things, and so things turn out really yellow, especially skin tones. So this is where I will turn the temperature down, make it kind of bluish because we don't want to be orange, right? Okay. So we have here, okay, I don't see, you don't want that part where I turn to the camera, so we're gonna stop it right here. Command K that ish. Okay, and then this is when I take the camera, so you just kind of you have to gauge where, you know, I take it. And you know, we'll get some clips of this stuff. I think this is where I kind of like ask her what kind of drink she wants. Oh, by the way, yeah, this is filmed when Starbucks is doing like buy one holiday, drink get one free. So yeah. Okay, I think we should get audio for this. So let me turn on the volume because I don't want to cut in the middle of like me saying something. Oh, let's see. Okay, well, we speak in Chinese, so I don't feel like translating that, so I'm not gonna use audio for that. So all I'm gonna do is just take this part, and I'm going to unlink that audio, because I don't feel like putting in subtitles and translating stuff. Cool. Okay, we have that, and okay, cool. Just to be consistent, I'm gonna continue with a vlog footage. Okay, again, it ate up that little clip. Okay, and this is a time lapse that I filmed, so we definitely, Control F, definitely do not want the audio. Okay, so you can Command R, you know, and kind of just gauge where the speed is, but another thing you do is just press R, and you can drag it, and it'll automatically rearrange the speed. And this is probably going to be choppy because it's not rendered. Okay. Yeah, that's really choppy. Okay, but anyways, that is a time lapse. So while we are waiting for the coffee, it makes sense now to introduce the B-roll, which is a fancy word for a montage. So here we have this. Okay, so the transition I made is when I kind of whip the camera. So what I want to do is, oh, where did my Canon sequence go? Okay, where did it go? Sometimes it'll go away. Let's drag that back. Here. I whip it away. So what you want to find is one that whips. There's a lot of whipping involved. I don't want to confuse you. Okay. Okay, I kind of messed up in where, see, I whipped to the right both ways. So what you want is you want to whip to the right on the first clip and then whip from the left. I know that makes no sense whatsoever, but what I'm going to do is just reverse this clip. Let me see if I can do that. And I know I'm just talking to myself. Set to frame size, fuel options, speed duration. Can I reverse? Can you reverse a clip? Reverse. Okay. Okay, so whip the camera, and that did not render. Oh, this only works if it renders. Okay, so we're just gonna leave it like that, and we'll render it and work on that transition later. But essentially the transition is it whips and then it automatically whips back to this, which still probably doesn't make any sense. But yeah, okay, so we have that. And I'm just gonna change the speed again and nest it so I can warp stabilize it in the future. Yeah, okay, good enough. Let's get rid of that clip. You know, I just got some random footage of the painting. So let's just see how that looks. I just needed fillers. That is pretty cool actually. So usually when you go from like a wider scene to a shorter scene like that, it makes sense to use the zoom transition, which I thoroughly enjoy. So I'm going to go into my effects panel and just search this plugin that I downloaded, which is just Zoom. So Changda Zoom, he makes these. So I'm going to click in, and let's see. I'm just going to make the zoom. I want the zoom to be very fast. So I'm going to cut that clip and drag it here. That was really fast, maybe too fast. Okay, that also did not render. Ugh. Okay, that I can't tell. But just in case, let's just make that longer. Okay, let's see. Cool. When I like to zoom, I like to put in a sound effect. So I'll go into my iTunes and search for the whoosh. It's just like a whoosh, that when you zoom in and you zoom out, and it's really cool. Cool. So I'm just going to take, Where'd it go? I'm just gonna search for whoosh. These are like 12 different types of whoosh, you know, if you want to hear them for yourself. That's a long one. I prefer the short one. Here's another one. Okay, we're gonna use that. Cool. Selected that. Drag the audio. I'm just gonna up that level. Let's see. That did not render. Okay, you know, we're just gonna render this real quick. Okay, there we go. And this is a very long clip. We can either cut it or we can make it more interesting by adding more transitions, like speed ramping. Speed ramping is when the clip goes from slow to fast and then slow, which is more interesting. So here we can, let's just cut that. Yeah, we can speed ramp it. So I'm just gonna choose this place to increase the speed, this segment. And I'm just gonna zoom in, make that slower. And let's see what that does. Yeah, and that just makes it faster. Yep, cool. And if we want, we can nest this entire clip and stabilize it, but I don't think it doesn't need it. My hands are pretty stable. Okay, cool. We have that. And then this is the part, so my next clip is the coffee. So we have to show that we got the coffee. So I'm gonna go into my Sony clip that shows me getting the coffee, which is here. So I'm just gonna copy that, and we want the audio because I like the audio just in random clips. I think it gives it an edge. Okay, actually we don't need the level, it's that loud. And we're gonna Command F. Let's see, where do I come in? This is where I come in. And since we go from very zoomed in to zoomed out, I think it's nice to, let me just mute that, add a zoom out transition. It's just easier on the eyes, really, like it's just preference. So let's extend that. Out. I'm just gonna put that there. And if we want, we can whoosh it again. You can never have too much whooshing, to be honest. Okay, that was too long of a transition. Oh, I know why it didn't work. With the in, you have to apply it to the second clip. With the out, you have to combine it to the first clip. There we go. Brain fart. Oh, and to duplicate a clip, just option click and drag. Yep, there we go. Get the coffee and I come back. So we'll have that around here. Cool. And then we got the coffee, so we can show the coffee. I filmed this in Starbucks. Not a big fan of the lighting. We filmed this outside, but I also have a clip of me going outside. So we're just gonna do that. It's all about storytelling, really. You know, it might make sense in your head to go from like this clip to that clip, but you just have to keep in mind that your audience doesn't know what's happening. They don't know your day, so you it's up to you to kind of just show it. So this is us coming out. I'm not a big fan of this orange, so I'm just gonna make it blue, turn down the saturation, and boost some of that exposure. Let's turn on the volume. Honestly, that's a really long walk to the door and we get it, so we can honestly just cut it right here. Cool. And I believe this is now a speaking portion. At one point, I start talking to the camera. Oh, oops, I cut that. So we just gotta go and find that clip again. It's a lot of like losing things and accidentally cutting things and going back and looking for it again. But that's why you want your footage organized. Oh, and I forgot that I had the letterbox up the entire time. So usually when I transition from the B-roll back to the vlog part, I don't like the letterbox in there. So I consider kind of just the ending point, kind of like when we leave and start talking. So I also want the letterbox to retract animatedly. So I'm going to go back to effect controls, scale. I'm going to add a keyframe. I want it to kind of stop over here. And I'm going to make it go back to 130. So if we play that, the letterbox is kind of going to go away by its own. So today, we don't need that sidewalk part. So today Starbucks is doing a buy one holiday drink, get one free. So and it's choppy because rendering sucks. I went in and got a chestnut praline iced chai latte, I think, and then Chinhui got a toasted, caramel. So basic color grading again. I'm just gonna increase that. Oh, and I forgot to scale the frame size. Yeah. Toasted, caramel, creme brulee, frappuccino. Okay. It's actually kind of chilly today, so these drinks are actually perfect, although this is iced, but I'm kind of like, I do ice seasonally, like I drink ice all throughout the year. So I know on Mayor's night, we found this spot that had seating that wasn't at Starbucks, because Starbucks gets a little crowded sometimes, so I think it's here, but okay, let's see. Okay. I've had it. Oh, no one cares. Ooh. Actually kind of chilly today, so these drinks are actually perfect, although this is okay. We find our spot right here. This is probably legal. Cool. And point, drag. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And then this is the point where we can kind of transition back into the B-roll because that makes sense to the story. So I'm just gonna grab these. I'm just gonna grab this clip first. Slow it out and do it like that. Okay. The hand went in there, so we're just gonna get rid of that. Okay. Let's nest that just for future use of stabilizing. Okay, B-roll starts again, so I kind of want to bring in the letterbox because I'm a letterbox freak. So let's keyframe that. 102. And it is back. So this is how the audience knows that the B-roll is happening again. Okay, let's take that. The reason why I don't copy and paste all of the footage at once is because you know what happens if I extend a clip, it eats up the other clip. So I don't want that to happen. Let's slow-mo that-ish. Then I did that transition, so actually, you know what, before I do that, I don't want this entire clip to be slow. I want my transition part to be fast. So I'm just going to cut that and only apply the slow part to this clip. That's not the transition. And I just want this part. Cool. Then I have Chinhui drinking it. No, pinwheel of death. Okay. Copy, paste. That is not Chinhui drinking it. Bitch, what? Okay, yeah. Copy, paste. The part that I want, let's just scrub through. I like that. Actually, I like this. Actually, I like, okay, we'll work with all of it. Okay, we have this, and then, okay, I like it around there. And I definitely want this in slow-mo. And then we'll have to nest that. See, guys, it's a routine. You get used to it. It just becomes routine. Okay. We don't want that to go on too long because, like, that close-up, it gets awkward. And we also want that to be slow-mo. I like that smile, so we're just going to start there. Oh, that beautiful smile. Okay. And then she got one of me. And my less cute. Okay. Cool. And we won't slow-mo that because that's kind of weird. Okay. So I think I'm just going to kind of stop it here because, you know, the drill is kind of all the same. But I want to kind of go back and so like, okay, so I have this rough edit, right? I've color graded it, I've letterboxed, done all the transitions or the rough transitions. What I'm missing is music. And with all these transitions, you know, with the talking parts and the B-roll, you can't just slap on a track. Because the volume applies, it's different for everyone. So I told you I didn't really find a song, but I do have like a music library accumulated. This probably won't be the one I end up sticking with, but you know, just for demonstration purposes. So I love picking music. It's a pain sometimes, but it's fun because the music kind of in the end ends up shaping the kind of vlog. Let's see. How do we want to do this? Okay, let's do it by albums. I have like lo-fi tracks, some funk, some pop. So we want the B-roll to kind of be, you know, it's upbeat. Or, you know, the music sets a mood, so it's kind of whatever the music is. But let's see, let's try this. No, that's weird. That just doesn't work. All my epidemic sound music. Let's see. Nope. I don't like that. Nope. No. No. Wait, maybe? Huh, let's see. Okay, that works for now. We'll probably end up changing it. So I'm just gonna drag that into the audio track. Probably a better way to do that. Okay, so let's just pretend like this is the beginning of a vlog, which you don't want it to just start. So I like to put in a little bit of cross dissolve, kind of let it fade in. Yeah, let's just cross dissolve that. Drag that in the beginning and make it slower. Okay, so yeah, you get the gist. It goes on and on up until the speaking portions, right? Which is here. Okay, and you can see that the music overpowers the voice, which you do not want. You also do not want to just cut the song, because the music just cuts, right? You want it to be a natural fade. You also do this with keyframes. Keyframes solve every problem. Okay, so set one keyframe, set another, and just drag. And this just gradually lowers it. So today, Starbucks is doing a buy one holiday drink, get one free. There you go. And then when the B-roll starts again, around here, we can kind of set another keyframe and tell ourselves that we want the music to go back here. Okay. What else? I usually always add a location tag. I used to have, if you watch my previous vlogs, this animated lower thirds thing that would pop up and tell you like the location, the date. When my MacBook broke, I lost that and I haven't been able to re-download it. So for now, let's just go into a title layer. And we'll just put the date. A font that I've been loving is Axis. So today is let's just Friday. That is not how you spell Friday. Friday. Okay. We'll put the rest of the text in later. But I like to kind of give it some space. So increase that. And then your title will show up in your library here. So you have to drag it. Ugh, stupid rendering. Oh, by the way, always save it. Because Premiere crashes a lot. I want that to come in more. Okay, so what I want is it to be Friday and then have November 11th come up right after. So instead of making a new text, I'm just gonna option drag and just duplicate it. You never want to copy and paste a title, because then the thing that you copied and pasted, if you change that, it changes the original. So always option click drag, and the November thing is gonna go down here. And that does not look that great. I'm just going to select these two, go in the effects, control, and nest it into one clip, just so you can change both of them at the same time. I like having things in the center, but we'll have to put it there. I don't like the 2017, do you guys? I don't like it. I'm gonna change it. So to change a nested layer, just double click, it opens. get rid of that. Okay, so that's kind of a weird, like, it just randomly pops in. It's like, that's fine, but I like to add a transition. So go into effects, video, transitions. What are we feeling today? We want to slide, wipe. Let's see what this is. Ooh, I like that flicker. Okay, and then we're gonna do it at the end too. Cool. And then, you know, if you want, you can go in and be like, add your little annotations, which are like the little kind of title, like comedy things. So maybe I'll write like Starbucks run, or, you know, y'all know it's Starbucks. But I like to add a lower thirds here and just say Starbucks. Do that later. Oftentimes I like to add in social media. So, you know what I need to do? I need to, I need to Photoshop the Instagram icon and the Twitter logo in the same thing, so I don't have to add two. So let's shrink that, bring that here. Let's put in Twitter too. By the way, follow me on Twitter. I'm not that funny, but I can be. You know, if y'all follow me, I'll like try to be funny on Twitter. Okay. Dang, she thick. Let's just, sorry. Oh, that's two, okay. Cool. Let's make that 10, shall we? Okay. And then let's nest these, oh, okay, we'll wait. Let's add a text. Instead of making a new text, I'm just gonna, well, no, I'll have to make a new text. Is this interesting to you guys? Like, I like watching people edit, but I'm an editor, so maybe that's why. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that, so actually, you know, it doesn't matter. Because, okay, you know what? Let's nest all that just so we can apply the same edits to it. Actually, no, bad idea. I should have switched that first. Back to the main. Let's make that smaller. Cool. And when it comes in, let's, you know, you don't want it just to be there, so we'll apply that same transition. Okay, that's long enough. Hello. Okay, cool. Okay guys, I'm just gonna stop it here before this video gets too long, but basically I do all of this and then rinse and repeat, and that goes on for hours and hours and hours. I don't know if it shows in my vlogs, but they do take a really long time to do. So yeah, if you have any more further questions, leave them down in the comments. Let me know if you like these editing videos, and right now I'm just gonna show you the finished product of just the montage scene, but really check out the vlog when this comes out, because I don't know when these videos are coming out. Buy one holiday drink, get one free So I went and got a chestnut praline iced chai latte, I think, and then Jinhui got a caramel creme brulee frappuccino, I think. It's actually kind of chilly today, so these drinks are actually perfect, although this is iced, but I'm kind of like, I do ice seasonally, like I drink ice all throughout the year. So I know while Maris and I, we found this spot that had seating that wasn't at Starbucks, because Starbucks gets a little crowded sometimes. So I think it's